out the first video ever uploaded to YouTube from the NFL draft, which was my interview with Bob McNair. But I have my longtime friend from London and Zennie62 blogger and now vlogger, really, who started in 2010, I think it was.
It was a while ago. I can't remember when. Yeah.
Live now.
And
it was a while ago. And
it was everybody YouTube version up, and this one. So hey, so what do you think about the Falcons' chance? Let's just dive right into it. What do you think about the Falcons' chances? If and I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but it's live. You can feel free to tweet this out too, as well. Hey, Mom. This is Dave from England. My mom says hello.
Hello, Mom.
Hey, hello, Mom. Hey, everybody. This is Dave Squires from London. He is now you're actually the longest active Zennie62 blogger. Yeah, that's right. Going all the way back. Yeah, because Nikki Rainey hasn't done anything in a long time. And yeah, she would have had you beat had she remained, but she took off into another direction, and she's by all accounts doing well, you know. But yeah, you're the last, well, I don't last of the Mohicans.
Not anymore.
Yeah, there you go. I know. And so Adrian Sanchez, welcome. Adrian says, why have a draft when there will be no football season? Well, that's another story. But hey, Adrian, what do you think about the draft? Who do you want to see? And I think more to the point, what do you want to see the Falcons do, Dave?
I don't want to see him do something stupid, which is entirely possible with Dimitrov. I mean, in the last few days, we've been linked with Chase Young, Kinlaw, Henderson. I mean, there's 5 guys we could take without potentially trading up. I mean, some of the guys will be gone. Obviously, Chase Young's going to be gone, but you don't have to trade up because there's 5 guys on the defensive side. One of them will be left when we come to pick at 16. Should be left anyway. We know nobody really knows what's going to happen, but I think either Kinlaw or Henderson will still be there. They can both help us. I can see us trading up to somewhere around 8 or 9 to pick up one of those 2. Maybe Derek Brown, maybe Simmons. If Simmons is still around, I think Quinn is just going to be all over it. But I think we have to go defense first.
Do you think Simmons will be around at that point?
I think teams seem to be a bit wary of what to do with him.
Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know, because if you've got a player that can do so many different things, surely that's a good thing. On offense, it seems to be a good thing. On defense, it seems to confuse people. I don't know, but I think if Simmons is still there, I think Quinn's just going to be all over it.
That's very true. Yeah, that is quite true.
I mean, I heard the breakdown of the positions, the different positions he played last year. And I was just like, wow, this kid can just play anywhere. I mean, he played corner 9, 10 snaps, and he can literally do it all. So I think they want to go defensive line first, because if you put Kinlaw or Derek Brown next to Grady Jarrett, that's going to cause a lot of problems. And even if we don't have pure rush from the edge, the push from the middle will create opportunities for pass rushers who aren't top level.
Hey, so first of all, just change the subject for a little bit. How are you doing with shelter in place, and how's London doing?
Yeah, I still have to work. I'm a key worker, so I'm still doing 40, 45, 50 hours a week. But I think in some parts people are taking it seriously, and then you see other parts less so. I mean, there's a park, I think, in Greenwich, where 2 weeks ago, where it was pretty hot here for this time of year, there was like 3,000 people in this park, and the police had to shut it down. So a lot of people are taking it seriously, the distancing, staying home, but then there's I mean, maybe it's the same everywhere, but some people are not.
Wow. Hey, it's is it mandatory?
No, that's really the problem. It's sort of just suggested that you do this, and I think we're being a bit too lenient on it, unlike places like Italy and Spain, where you see the true lockdown, where they show pictures and there's literally like no one.
Yeah.
There's no one.
Like California, where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So I think they need to be a bit harsher with the rules and so on, but I guess we'll see.
Well, you said key worker. What does a key worker do?
I'm a manager for a supermarket, so we're obviously still open.
Essential
key
worker.
Yeah, so key workers like well, I'm in that bracket. Obviously, NHS, police, fire, that sort of thing. So we're all still at work. So
Yeah.
which is a good thing. He's still earning money. So
Yeah, to be safe, man. Have that mask on and everything. We got masks here, and it's wild. I mean, I mean, it's a pandemic of biblical proportions. And Adrian Sanchez asks, "Why have a draft when there'll be no football season?" What about? Do you think we'll have a football season? And what about sports in general? How's the UK approaching it?
The UK started talking again about how to finish the football season, soccer, because it was coming. There's about, I don't know, 10, 12 games left, plus some cup competitions. But it was coming to a close. It was in the back end of the season. So I think they want to finish it out. But now they've recently started talking about doing it behind closed doors, and is it going to be a possibility? I think when they start again, it will be behind closed doors. I don't see them having fan participation. In regards to the NFL season, there's obviously a lot longer. It doesn't start till for real till September. I think they could just delay it for a month, maybe 6 weeks, because the NFL off season is so long. Does it really matter for 1 year that you don't have the Super Bowl till March? I mean, is that going to, you just move the league year back a little bit, but the distance between the draft and OTAs and stuff, I mean, there's so much time there that they can do stuff with. I think so. I'm hoping we're going to have one. I think it'll just be maybe delayed, and maybe in the beginning there's no fans for the first month. Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, baseball's already should have already been off and running. They cancelled the international game we were supposed to have, because obviously that would have been June, so not enough time. But they cancelled that almost straight away. So whether we have NFL in London, the 4 games, again, they might just cut that down to 2 or even 1, or they might just shift. They might just shift them, because they're normally October. They might just shift them into late November, December. But who knows?
My gosh, are you all providing? Because like over here we have the payment protection plan program for business loans.
Yeah, and we have all those things, and people that are renting properties are, I think, protected, or it's being paid for them for, I think, 3 months. Mortgage breaks, that sort of thing. So
yeah. So the bottom line is we're all in the same boat around the world. It's biblical.
Yeah, pretty much. We're just waiting for it to end.
Yeah. Hey, so shifting gears back to the NFL and the draft and the Falcons, what would you like to see the Falcons do in the draft?
Really, just stay at 16. We only have 6 picks anyway, so we don't have much to give up. So just stay at 16. You will get someone who can help. And then if it's defensive tackle, there's some good corners in this draft, and you're just going to hope that one of those who's on the fringes of the first will drop, and maybe you can trade back in. Maybe you can get that 49ers 31st pick to get one of them other corners. But we need a few things. But then if we can get a couple of playmakers on defense, that that could be enough just for 1 year.
Yeah. You've seen the Falcons when they came over to England, right?
Yeah. What year was that? 2014.
Yeah, I believe it was. Yes, that sounds about right. I can of course look it up. Hey, everybody, welcome to Zennie 62. This is my special guest is Dave Falcon, and we're talking Atlanta Falcons in the NFL draft. He is in London, England, and he's been a Zennie 62 blogger since 2010. And this 10 years. I got to get you a special. 10 years, man. 10 years. 10 years, and now you have one kid, two kids.
Yeah.
How old are they?
10 and 7.
What, 10? That's right. I remember you had the first baby. I remember you had the announcement then, and now you have a 7-year-old. Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Thanks.
Congratulations, man.
I think they're still awake.
Oh my God! Are they football fans too, or are they still trying to figure out what all this?
I'm trying, but it's. We'll see. Hopefully.
Is it time to replace Matt Ryan?
No, absolutely not. No, it's time to replace Matt Sharp, but it's not time to replace Matt Ryan. Ryan had a good year. He had a good year last year on a team that struggled. Team struggled offensively. Play calling wasn't great, but no, I wouldn't do that.
But Matt Schaub had one 400-yard game, I believe, against the Jaguars.
Seattle, he played. Ryan was injured. Yeah, he actually played pretty well. Played, but I mean, that's not a viable backup option, is it really? But Benekert, who was like number 3 guy last year, but he looked good in camp and preseason, but he got hurt. I think he's still around, so he's an option. I don't think there was talk of us drafting Hurts in the second round. I mean, that's just I like Hurts, and I think he could be a legit starter for someone. But for us, it's a wasted pick.
Why does it seem like the Falcons have a hard time finding that edge rusher? Because they had number 44, who's just
Beasley.
Vic Beasley, who I thought was a great pickup. But when I went to the Rams game where the Rams were visiting the Falcons last year, they had Beasley in a stand-up position at times. And I thought, why are they putting him what I think is out of position, What do you think about what happened with Vic Beasley and the Falcons?
I think Beasley's problem was, I mean, there were a few reports about maybe his attitude wasn't the best or he wasn't willing to learn. I mean, not on Michael Vick levels, but for a young guy who's trying to get better, it still could be an issue. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Beasley had one good year, and that was the Super Bowl year. But in the playoff, he disappeared. When you're playing against the best and they're going to try and scheme for you, he just disappeared. I don't think he had a sack in the playoff run. So he had one good year, and then it would always seem to come good in the last 3 games of the season when they were talking about should we keep him or cut him. And then he has 3 games at the end of the season where he gets a bunch of sacks, and they go, but let's keep him. And that happened like 3 years in a row. But I liked the pick at the time, but it just didn't work out. Now, it'll be interesting to see how he does at Tennessee. It's probably going to go down as a bust.
How much of that is coaching? And the reason I ask is because I talked to Coach Quinn about some elements about what I'm talking about, but I disagree with two-gapping. And they do a lot of two-gapping where they ask a lineman to hold one gap to either end. I prefer single gap because you're going up against linemen now that are like, for example, Mekhi Becton is, oh my goodness, is he a 6'5"? Yeah, right. Runs a 40 time that's crazy for a person of his size, and you're asking a defensive line person to hold either side of a person like that. I mean, the guy can pull a bus. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It just
Well,
doesn't.
especially with Beasley, because he was something of a one-trick pony. He was a speed rusher, had no
Right.
ball rush, didn't have too many other moves, so he was a bit too one-dimensional.
Right. That's what they wanted because remember Dwight Freeney? Dwight Freeney was teaching Beasley, and Dwight Freeney was known for nothing other than his rush, speed,
Yeah, and
and
that spin move. That spin move was
exactly
that
that was
spin move
key.
was it was great. I think Beasley did that once.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping Dante Fowler Jr. will be an upgrade. I think it will. But then if we get, I mean, Jarrett in the middle he can take up 2 blocks. But if he has like Derek Brown or Kinlaw next to him,
Can
then
you imagine?
the pass rush is going to come from the middle, and then the outside guys can hopefully clean up. I think that's the plan, because there's not, apart outside Chase Young, the edge rushers in this draft are not great. There's 2 or 3 good, but not great. So you're going to have to go in another direction.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. If Kinlaw or Brown is the pick, I mean, I personally believe that with what Coach, because I ran into Coach Quinn and we were talking about, and I asked him if he had considered using the old Pittsburgh Steelers pinch defense with the defensive tackles like that on the center, and he actually said he thought about something like that and was going to study it more. Can you imagine those 2 tackles head up on center like that, forcing the offensive line to constrict and get to them before they can get through the gaps? Wow.
I think that's the way they're going to have to go. But again, they could go Henderson, because the corners, they let Trufant go, which I didn't agree with. And now you have young corners, and Oliver, who was very up and down, more down than up, and Sheffield, who actually finished the season quite well, but they're both pretty young, inexperienced, have flaws. But then if you have more of a pass rush, these guys don't have to cover so long. I mean, that's a problem we've seen in the past, where we had good corners, but they're asking to cover. No one can cover receivers for like 8, 9, 10 seconds. People will get open, and that's what was happening. So let's see. I think they wanted Chase Young. I think that's what they wanted. And I was thinking about it earlier, where we had 2 second-round picks. We traded one for Hurst, the tight end from the Ravens. I wonder if we'd have kept that pick, could we have moved up? Or is Washington just like, Young's generational pass rusher, we're not going to give up? It would take too much to make that trade.
Hey, we have a couple of guests here, and then we're going to switch over in a second. But Dave Compton asks, he says, how do you think the Raiders will do in the draft and overall for the season upcoming? Dave, that's not something I'm going to ask Mr. Compton answer really quickly. I'll take that up later in the evening. And then he follows up. He says, is it true that Rob Gronkowski will come out of retirement to play with Tom Brady in Tampa? Well, that's past tense. He actually did come out. What do you think about that one, Dave?
I mean, there's a lot of talk about, especially they're in our division. But the guys had a lot of injuries. I mean, and they have a lot of good tight ends already on the roster. The guy's not going to play every down. Could even just be like a third down tight end. You're still going to have to try and pick him up. He's still going to be a nightmare to pick up. And as long as he doesn't get hurt, he'll be an asset in key situations. They got them 2 receivers on the edge, so it'll be difficult to cover him. That might also be in the thinking of Coach Quinn with someone like Simmons.
Hey, as promised, this is our history show, and Dave's a big part of it. I'm going to put up a video before we switch over. It's 6:18. That goes back to a famous video called How a Draftee's Name Gets Called. And it's relevant in particular because we are involved in what's called a virtual NFL draft. I don't know how it could be virtual when, in point of fact, it actually is happening, right?
It's almost happening.
It's almost happening. It hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna be there. So I don't know if you call it virtual, but anyway, what I'm putting up here, folks, is I put us over here to the side like that, and then I'll go and share screen like so, and get the how a draftee's name gets called, and there it is. This is it. This is the video, folks. This is from the first year that Zennie 62 was at the NFL draft, 2006. This Zennie 62 on YouTube was the first YouTube video to cover the NFL draft. And this is how a draftee's name gets called right now. That's the runner. The runner's taking it down.
San Francisco's chosen. Denver is on the clock.
He gives it to
Melvin
Oliver. He calls Melvin Oliver. He says Melvin Oliver here. And so sort of in a queue. The table that the person came from was the Buccaneers table. And so I actually saw that. So the tables arranged in order, and there's AFC and NFC side. That's how they did it then. They still do it that way now.
With pick number 197, the 49ers select Melvin Oliver,
I'm sorry, it was the
defensive
49ers.
end, LSU.
The 49ers, yeah. And that's how that works. That's how a draftee's name gets called. This one, and again, there's a big story behind that because the NFL, when I first put that up, they tried to take that down.
Why?
They said they came up with some gobbledygook legal reason, and I said, no, that's my video. A, B, I was press credentialed, and C, that video really reveals nothing that happened that did not happen in public.
Plus, it would have been after the event anyway.
Well, yeah, and not only that, even then, it was actually put up that same night. It was actually put up that same night, and but they didn't.
But it's not like it was live.
Well, the
when
whole
you put it up,
right. The whole point,
I mean,
is, even if it was live, I still would have had the same right.
Right.
Okay. And so what happened was that the person that agreed with me, because it's fair use legal as news commentary and news, was Jeff Pash, the head of legal. Because I quoted not one, but I believe 4 different cases that defended me. And so ever since, they left the video alone, and the NFL made its own version of it rather than just use mine, which I thought was really, why
trying to get people to watch theirs, not yours. This is the NFL classic flexing their muscles.
Yeah.
With a big multi-billion-dollar organization. So,
well, but here's how I look at it. That's my video, and fortunately, because I had the right legal argument, the head of NFL legal agreed with me, and still does to this day. They leave me alone as a matter of thunderstorms around here, as a matter of a business relationship, because I'm one of the first people. No, I am the only person in Super Bowl history to have formed a bid to bring the Super Bowl to Oakland had we beaten Jacksonville. So, among other things. So, I brought a lot to the league, and what the league was doing at that time is they had no idea what I was doing technically, and I was happy to help them because I was far ahead of them. And I brought Ustream to the NFL the next year. That was this year. It's 6:23. I believe I have enough time to. In fact, I'll go over and I'm going to get this NFL Irrelevant Week video, and then we'll move over. And you know what? I told Melanie I was going to I better save that one. I better go over. Let's I'll tell you what. I'm gonna send you. We're gonna go off here, folks. We're gonna go over and we're gonna get Melanie Fitch because I'm to interview her at 6:30 my time, which is 3:30 her time. Dave, come over. I'm gonna send you a link. So we're gonna sign off right now. We'll see you in a second. All right, Dave?
Okay. All right.